What is going on, everybody? Happy Friday.
Happy Friday, Jacob. I hope you're doing well. And I hope you have a nice weekend moving forward. Same as chat community. Thanks for tuning in. I hope you're having a wonderful Friday morning, afternoon, or maybe it's Saturday where you are. I hope everyone is genuinely well and having a great time.
Same here. It looks like we've got a nice little attendance. Thank you all for spending some of your Friday with us, as we've been doing for the past few and will continue to do going forward. These will be recorded, put up on YouTube, time-stamped. So if your friends miss out on the live action, there will be a recording for everyone to check back in on. But of course, those who are listening on recording don't have the ability to ask questions as we go. So thank you all for spending some of your day with us. It's been an exciting week in the Top Shot world. 2 limited edition pack drops, obviously Hollow Icon Monday, Cool Cats yesterday, introduced rebound packs as a formal project and program going forward on rare and legendary packs. So, all around just exciting times to be a part of the community, and certainly appreciate you all for taking the time out of your day. Usman, how's everything on your end?
Yeah, everything's fine. Have some news for potentially later throughout the stream, but excited to get to our community members' questions. And there's quite a lot, so thank you for always asking such fantastic ones and helping Jacob fill them so excellently. We truly appreciate it. All right, with that, let's get the first one started. Zapdart inquires, there was mention by the team of the desire to reward collectors. Any future plans you can discuss? My own answer is, potential utility with the Hardcourt game coming out, where you can plug in your moments and play alongside them. Could be arcade style. Heard by all means that it's really fun. And sorry, there might be someone I need to mute in here. We should be good. But beyond that, we had pack drops for Hollow Icon where they were limited to owning, where collectors were limited to owning certain criteria of moments to be eligible. So that was another incentive. Beyond that, I imagine there's utility with baller status, but Jacob, if you want to speak upon that.
Yeah, I think long term, our goal is going to be creating opportunities for collectors to have a very clear understanding of where they stand in the ecosystem. So by that, I mean, in the interim, until we build out the features, we're going to have eligibility requirements for pack drops. So that, as you all know, that consists of, for Hollow Icon, a combination of different ways to get eligible. We had over 80,000 collectors who were eligible. And I think you can safely anticipate going forward that requirements are going to be a thing for rare drops, for legendary drops. Still no certainty around whether those requirements will be the same. No kind of firm decisions have been made about whether next legendary drop will have the same requirements as this one. With that being said,
Sorry, Jacob. I'm not sure if you might have cut out there.
Yeah, we're going to have eligibility requirements for future drops. No determination yet about whether the eligibility requirements from the Hollow Icon drop on Monday will persist as the same eligibility requirements going forward. I would anticipate that we change it up ever so slightly. And when you're looking at the kind of requirements, we were able to get 80,000 or so collectors into the fold. So we're pretty satisfied with kind of not making the requirements super strict, but we're going to consistently look at the data and see how can we reward our most loyal collectors, and ensure that they have as great an opportunity as possible to get packs. And I think we're going to see rebound packs again, for our next rare or legendary drop, and no determination whether the rebound packs will be enough for every single person in the queue, but we anticipate making a lot of rebound packs, so a lot of people leave the queue feeling good about their drop experience.
Exciting. Something for everyone. Well, at least they're eligible. On the gifting side, Baller Basket asks, is there a process for potentially getting safe listed for gifting yet?
There isn't quite yet. We will work on it. We'll be looking at kind of the activity in the queue, in the community. We'll be looking at the size of the account, the influence of the account. If we don't have the bandwidth as a team to process manual requests from everyone in the community, that would just take us away from super pressing stuff. But if there are athletes, if there are VIPs that don't have the access, we will certainly be able to kind of accommodate them.
Great. We have quite a few questions about challenges. The mailman states that they really enjoyed the idea of 15K LE moments being required in the Cool Cats 4 challenge, and they're curious if we can expect more requirements like that moving forward.
Yeah, I think you'll be able to expect a bunch of different types of requirements for moments. So, be it base set LE moments that were capped at 15,000 or 7,500 or 35,000, or even there's going to be a world in which seeing stars moments might be required for upcoming challenges, or rising stars moments. Even like there's no bounds to what we can do there. So I would safely anticipate that collectors shouldn't be listing moments with the expectation that it won't be a challenge reward down the road, because that's a bad assumption to make. We're open to every single moment on Top Shot, including Series 1 moments potentially being involved in future challenges. Now, don't misconstrue. I'm not saying that will happen anytime soon, but I want to put it on everyone's radar that it could happen.
Perfect. Dollars and Cents asks if there's a possibility in the future to require moments from different series for a challenge, let's say Series 2 and Series 3 in the future for a Series 3 challenge reward.
I think it's possible, yeah. Now, again, I don't think we've made kind of formal steps in that direction, but we want collectors to always be on their toes and not think that a moment, just because it's been in a challenge before or because it's from a different series, has no possibility of reemerging as a requirement for an upcoming challenge.
Wonderful. D'Artagnan91 asks for updates on how the last 4 Cool Cat moments needed for the Master Challenge will be distributed. They additionally are asking how soon after Cool Cats Challenge 4 that we expect to see the Master Challenge live.
That's a good question. So I think in the immediate, you're going to see potentially a challenge made up of certain non-Cool Cats moments that will lead to a Cool Cats reward. I think we'll see that sometime this month. I don't have a timeline for Master Challenge. I would imagine, we have some urgency to have it happen, if not in April. And
Sorry, Jacob, I think you might have. Are you here with us?
can you hear me, everyone? I'm having some Wi-Fi issues today, it seems.
It's all good. The content is great. I'm sure people are happy enough. And, it happens. So it's just a pleasure to be around you on this Friday and just answering questions for the community. And that's, we appreciate you doing that.
Yeah, my computer sounds like it's gonna explode. I've got it on my phone, so hopefully we just continue strong. I'm actually gonna go off of the Wi-Fi in hopes. Can you all hear me still?
Yeah, yeah. I have a nightmare of Wi-Fi issues from time to time. I definitely feel the frustration. With that, let's get to another question about challenges. Charles Packley states that using base set moments in challenges is affordable and fun, and says, "Great job, team. Would we ever see a potential WNBA challenge award from using NBA Top Shot moments?"
It's certainly possible. I don't want to. We obviously don't have any WNBA players on the platform yet, so I don't want to speculate. But I think we're excited about one day potentially having WNBA players, and we're very excited about kind of what that could look like long term.
Oh yeah. On the Pax end, SB12 asks for insight on moments for this season's MVP. They felt like the last set for the MVP moves may have been oversaturated, that there were 10 Giannis moments, and in place, they're asking for an MVP badge instead. Is that a possibility? I will say that I thought that set was really cool. It was just various plays celebrating the greatness that is Giannis, back-to-back MVP. And it's just such a unique one that celebrated how great of a player he was during that season. But on the note of potential MVP badges, what do you think, Jacob?
Yeah, I think it's a possibility. We get this question pretty much every office hours, and I'll just continue to say the same thing. We are open to all sorts of different ideas for badges. We will have more badges down the road. I think that the question is fair. I understand the appeal of accolades turning into badges, right? Be it MVP, be it others. But there's no kind of official word, and it's frankly not my decision to make. So we're just going to continue to say that it's a possibility, but not encourage people to go to the marketplace on speculation of something that is really 50-50 at best at this point.
For sure. Sad asks, there's a certain pattern the team wants to follow for pack drop rarities, like commons 3 times a month and rares once a month, or will they continue to be completely random?
I think we want to get to a pattern for sure. We look at the Monday, Thursday premise as something that we're hopeful we're going to be able to do long term. Now, I think, going into the season, we had somewhat of like a loose script of every third week or so we would have a legendary drop, and obviously that has not been the case, and we're reacting to the community sentiment and being mindful of what the community wants to see. I think, from my perspective, having at least 1 or 2 rares a month seems pretty good to me. Like I would maybe not at least 1, hopefully 2 rare drops a month would be pretty good to me. And then, of course, legendaries, if it's every third week, if it's once a month, if it's once every 2 months, we need to kind of still figure out that right cadence. But we will have at least, we know for sure we're going to have another hollow icon drop happening in Series 2. There's a possibility of a legendary rookie drop. That drop and that premise is very much contingent on the NBA schedule and the NBA calendar. Because it's possible we have trouble getting all of this content out, and we want to be very cognizant and receptive to the community and not just jam through a plan that we scripted. So I think you're going to see, and I think for sure you're going to see another legendary hollow icon drop. You might see a legendary drop revolving around only rookies. And then in the playoffs, it's possible we see another legendary drop then. So that's kind of where I would say we're at. As far as, I don't think you're going to see more than at most 3 more legendary drops in Series 2. But it's possible we don't even have all 3. It's the only one for sure that's going to happen is the next hollow icon. And then from there, there's about 50-50 chance that we'll have between a rookie legendary drop and a playoff related legendary drop.
Super exciting. And I know that's getting, it's probably getting the community really amped up. I mean, feel free to discuss who you think will be in the playoffs, be players you'd be looking for. All right. So we have a question about snapshots, and I'm sorry if you already touched on this earlier, but one collector believes that both the eligibility and the announcements of requirements for eligibility can sway the market. Will we continue to announce those eligibility requirements in advance?
Yeah, we feel very good about snapshots as kind of a important step in the right direction. I think that what we did with the snapshot for Monday's drop was actually a newer snapshot approach where we took a snapshot, announced the eligibility requirements, and then just before the drop, we took another snapshot to ensure that collectors that were eligible on Sunday remained eligible on Monday. Because there's the risk, of course, of we announce eligibility requirements, a collector is eligible on Sunday, they just sell all of their moments, and they would, in a prior context, be able to still enter the queue. We had about 700 collectors that were eligible on Sunday. They flipped moments, potentially under the presumption that we would not take a second snapshot. And then, of course, we did. So we're really just consistently looking at ways to reward our collectors for maintaining their impressive collections.
And that's great because it was so heavily requested. People were frustrated that they were missing out. This is just really, really entertainment of the community is something that they truly wanted, and Top Shot is making right on that. Ritters asks, do you feel the requirements on the hollow icon drop went far enough to 8 collectors, however, that there were 80 collectors in line for about 2,400 packs, keeping in mind that the rebound packs were an excellent innovation?
Yeah, I think that we're gonna look into it, right? Like, again, we're pretty satisfied with. There were a lot of ways that could have gone wrong. I think the overall community sentiment was that seems like a fair requirement. We will continue to look into it. By no means am I suggesting that the next rare or legendary drop is exactly the same. And I think that's important to kind of not encourage gamesmanship of the system. And then long term, I think we're gonna work toward building be it baller status, be it an alternative metric that is more dynamic and can go up and down based on your collection. Basically, like a collector's score that might determine eligibility. And I don't have a timeline on this. This could be months away. It could be years away. But I think long term, I'd rather have one kind of metric that every collector knows exactly where they stand, and you can do different activities, fulfill challenges, have certain types of moments in your collection, certain types of players in your collection. All of those things are on the table, and I think right now baller status is very much achievement based, but there's no disincentive, right? Like if you sell all your moments, your baller status doesn't go down. I think there's a real value in maybe having a collector score long term where it is dynamic and a collector knows exactly where they stand. And we can say, in order to be eligible for this drop, you need to have X collector score or higher. And then collectors know exactly how to do that. And that, again, would be snapshot based. So we're not trying to create like bubbles or movement around drops just for people to be eligible. But yeah, I think that's a little bit of a peek under the hood of where we're at mentally, what we're thinking about for the long run here.
Awesome. If you have an answer, awesome. If you don't, no worries. Chingus X can ask if there's a progress update on failed transactions or pending charges to credit cards and a system in place that allows 2 or more collectors to pay for but not actually receive a moment.
Yeah, I mean, I think we're making progress on UI, and we're aware that someone trying to buy the same moment and constantly failing because it gets snatched up before you have the chance. We are aware that that has led to kind of our bot detection recognizing you as maybe a bot. So we're reading through that to ensure that there aren't super false positives around someone just really persistent trying to get a moment. But if you do get blocked, just know that that's kind of where we're at right now on a technical level. What I would say to the question at large, this is hard, right? Because we're talking about Flow, which is instantaneous. We're talking about Dapper, which has maybe a few seconds lag, and obviously the Top Shot interface and Dapper, there's an additional few seconds lag there. So if if there's a moment that's clearly well priced, like a good price for a collector to snatch up, chances are, I mean, you all saw we had over 300,000 people in the queue yesterday. We're gonna have people buying the same moment at the same time, and only one person is going to be able to get that moment. So, I mean, I can guarantee you, if you're not bargain hunting or looking for the best value, it happens way less frequently that 2 people are buying the same moment at the same time. And we understand that it's a frustrating experience. But the reality is, the reason why it happens is because they are well priced moments, and a lot of collectors have similar taste and they can identify really good values at the same time. So yeah, that's kind of how I would put it.
And that kind of goes in line with PA0's question about what the thought process was behind the decision to randomize serial numbers listed for the same price, maybe
Right.
reducing that.
Right. We don't want, we're doing things and we're cognizant that to a collector, it makes it somewhat harder to find the best deal, right? Like if it's randomized serial number and not just in order, it's going to take an extra, 20, 30 seconds to find. But the idea there is, we'll rather you as a collector take an extra 20, 30 seconds to find the right value than everyone goes to the same moment and 75% of the collectors come away with a disappointing experience because it got snatched up by one of the 4, just arbitrarily picking a number there. But yeah, that's the vibe we're trying to strike.
Awesome. Michael Whittle 3 is asking about the cooldown timer on failed transactions and asking for it to not initiate unless there's an actual transaction. Do we have any word on this by chance? We did see a counter. We suggested maybe waiting 5 to 10 minutes and then refreshing. It did help for several people, but for those that maybe are just not fans of what's going on or just want more clarity, do we have that for them?
Yeah, I think, Usman, you put it well. For a lot of collectors that their transaction fails and it shows that their timer is reset to 60 minutes, we really understand how frustrating that is, and that's not our intent. This is something that we are actively working on, and I anticipate a fix so that if your transaction fails, you won't be penalized. In the meantime, as you were saying, Usman, there is a chance that after 10 minutes, if you refresh, your timer will reset because the system will recognize it. This happens, I would say, a decent portion of the time. It's certainly not every time, and we're hopeful that we can get to an every time situation. But for a lot of collectors that see 60 minutes, refresh after 10, and you should hopefully be able to re-explore the marketplace and purchase again.
Wonderful.
And then longer term, of course, we're going to have a fix that, there's no hacky solution around it. You'll just be able to not be penalized.
Thanks for explaining in detail. I know it's a very, very common concern yesterday. I know the Discord community was in hysterics, so is Twitter. So I hope that, alleviated some of that community. Again, we know how frustrating it is, and we just want to continue making strides and ensuring the best experience moving forward. Brennan asks about the gradual marketplace reopening after pack drops. Can we go a bit more into depth on how this works, or if any changes are on the horizon of the system? Maybe even suggesting a reverse queue reopening for those who are in the front line to buy packs being the last ones in.
Yeah, so I floated the idea. Our product team is looking into it. The reality is it's much harder to implement than it might seem to someone that isn't kind of an engineer or a product person. We recognize it's not a perfect system. We apologize to the collectors that feel, yesterday I got a lot of DMs and a lot of mentions on Twitter about Serge Ibaka. I get it. Like, it's frustrating. The reality is if we open up the marketplace to everyone's going to have experience. Pardon my French. Everyone's going to have a bad experience, and that's not what we're going for. So the rollout, is completely randomized, and it comes in stages. Long term, certainly potential for us to be able to look at who got favorable queues and give them access last. In the meantime, we look at other things we're working on from a product standpoint as higher priorities. So certainly understand the frustration around maybe this moment was $10 when the marketplace was closed, and by the time I gained access, it was all the way back up to $40, whatever. And I get it. It's annoying. It's to those that aren't in the initial batch of random access, it feels like you're being penalized. That is not the intent. I think, as you saw yesterday, we are looking into kind of giving collectors first and foremost the ability to not lose. So what that means is, we launched the challenge mid drop, and we enabled delisting for about a full hour before people were able to buy again. So if you, as a collector, owned a Serge Ibaka, for example, and you see he's part of the challenge, you're able to delist, which prevents you from a losing experience. And for collectors that feel anguish and frustration because if they gained access to the marketplace with everyone else, they would have gotten that Ibaka moment for cheap. I can promise you it's not as simple as that, because everyone is targeting those same exact moments, of course. And in all likelihood, the collectors that feel aggrieved would still feel aggrieved, because all that would happen is they'd get to Dapper and they might have a payment failure, like a checkout failure, right? Because someone snatched it up before them. So, not speaking in generalities for some collectors, certainly there are some winners, but when everyone's going for the same exact moments, there are a lot of losers. That's just how it happens, right? Supply and demand. So yeah, I think it's a complex topic. The one thing that I can guarantee is that we're very sensitive to cooldowns. So what we did yesterday, even with this random rollout that some collectors felt was unfair, the reality is no collector was able to buy 2 moments from the marketplace before one collector was able to purchase 1. So that, in theory, should mitigate the disparities. I understand why some collectors still feel that it's unfair, but like we do with pack drops, random is the fairest, because bad luck can't stay bad forever when it's completely random. And if we did a first come first serve, the OGs of the community certainly remember those days, and I promise you it's not as fair as to some it might seem, because those with the best scripts, automations, best Wi-Fi, we're talking about tenths of a second difference in clicking, and it's the comparisons to a physical line kind of ring hollow to me when we're talking about the web and the instantaneous nature of it.
Yeah. And by all means, the marketplace has made such strides, especially in the last month and a half. There was a period where the site would just continuously go down, and People were understandably frustrated, but now we have that system in place that keeps it upright, and just continue maintaining that until we potentially have something even better in place. But um, I'm sure this is, if you go back in time and experience what some of our collectors have been feeling, for those that are frustrated, even for a week of that happening at its worst, you would definitely take this over, some of the prior activities in the marketplace.
Can I just interject for a quick second, Usman? Because I see
Yeah.
we have some great content creators in our community, of course, and we have a bunch of them who are syndicating and sharing information online, be it Twitter, be it elsewhere. I want to be extremely, extremely clear, because I know how quickly things can kind of be taken the wrong way, and it leads to misaligned expectations. When I say that there are potentially 3 legendary drops still to come, that is absolutely true. There's a possibility that there will be 3. There's one for sure, which is Hollow Icon. Then I described it as 50-50 for a rookie legendary drop and a playoff drop. 50-50 means the chances both of them happen, we're looking at about 25% chance. So I just ask the content creators of the community to be explicitly clear, because I think that the community, based on some tweets I have seen, will anticipate that all 3 are happening, when it's a stronger likelihood that all 3 don't happen, right? So I just want to make sure that is understood explicitly.
Right. And I know how important it is to make that clear. So thank you, Jacob. Martin asks that if they buy 3 certified ballers moments, would they still be eligible for contest? Yeah, yeah. The contest doesn't actually close until May 4th. Might need to get a head start for racking up those likes if you have plans to kind of level up in those tiers and potentially grasp for some of those higher rewards. But there's still that 20 likes. So get some of your favorite certified ballers. Maybe post what your favorites are in chat, or definitely don't post your showcase links in general, please, but save it for the temp showcase contest channel. I appreciate you all. And I've been looking at a bunch of your showcase links. Absolutely amazing. A lot of creativity behind them. There was one in particular where the last names of each player spelled out 1 packs. So that was fun. All right. Danny 2020 notes that if a player is traded, his moments go to Ellie. If a player changes his jersey number, do those moments also change to Ellie?
No, that has not been officially spoken on. But with that being said, it's a nice little segue to share that we have or are in the process of retiring moments at some point today. So I'm very excited about that. We will share an announcement on Twitter when it happens, be it on and we'll share it on Discord as well. But certainly some moments are going to be retired. For the collectors in the community, the safe assumption always is that when a player changes teams, the moment from their previous team will get retired. So I'm not going to formally name names of who that is, but I want the community to kind of carry that expectation always, that when a player changes teams, the moment from their previous team will get retired. Now, in edge cases where a player is waived and doesn't necessarily switch to a different team, that will be a different circumstance. That's a slightly different dynamic. But if a player is traded or is waived and then signs with a new team and suits up in their first game with the new team, that's when you can safely anticipate it.
Awesome. Steven Von Schiller asks if there'll be a day where collectors can add custom profile photos, and if not, maybe more options to choose from than those that are currently available.
Yeah, these are kind of things that I think about when I think of what baller status can do for you long term, or what a collector score can do for you long term. Little kind of customizable perks are certainly kind of on the radar.
Love it. On the topic of baller status, would we ever toy with the possibility of reduced transaction fees or better odds at a pack drop? Or, is everything just kind of speculative at this moment and certainly no possibilities over another?
Yeah, I think one of the things that I really want to make clear to the community is that long term we are envisioning having our own queue, which will enable us to have more flexibility. But in the meantime, we don't have the ability to do all of these different like kind of zany, wonky ideas around the queue. What I would also say, to be super clear, is that when you think, there are some ideas that we hear from the community that seem great in premise, and then when you think about it, they're just designated recipes for abuse. New accounts created, like if we reward collectors for missing out on X number of straight drops, or getting into the queue but getting unfavorable position, that will lead to collectors abusing the system, right? Because you can create more accounts, you can say, oh, this one's missed out X number of times, yada, yada, yada. So these are complex topics, right? And I don't mean to be insensitive. I know how frustrating it is for a collector. If you keep on coming up empty in the queue, you get bad numbers every time. It is completely random. There is no, the good news about having a randomized queue is that bad luck can't stay bad forever.
All right. I know it's been a hot topic ever since we discussed it in recent weeks, and for the eternity of time since Top Shot was pretty much created, or at least shortly after. Redley asks, has a team released the update on how the Series 1 moments will be distributed yet? The remaining maybe 1,000 LE?
We have a plan. As I've said, I said on Tuesday and last week, and we'll continue to say until we roll it out formally. There's going to be an announcement by the end of this month around Series 1 base set moments and how we're going to roll them out to the community. As I have said before, we'll continue to say we are going to do it in a responsible way. We're not just going to flood the market all at once with these moments. And we feel very excited about maybe a feature we're launching that collectors will be, able to leverage in order to potentially gain access to these. So I'm going to keep it vague. And I do that knowing that collectors are maybe going to have their minds racing, thinking of all the different features. But what I'll say is, for sure, you'll hear an announcement around the Series 1 base set moments before the end of this month.
Okay, that's super exciting news. Kev asks, well, we have burn challenges in the near future, burning a certain amount of moments to potentially get that challenge reward. Maybe if there were, let's say, an addition size of 100,000-ish Smith moments, but you need to burn 5 to upgrade to another one, and so on. Do you think these are ideas that could potentially be something in the future of Top Shot?
There potentially, I'm always the only moment that we're talking about burning and have committed to burning are the Eastern and Western Conference Finals moments that didn't sell out last year. Those are the only moments we're burning. I feel a lot of maybe trepidation is the right word around just burning more moments. But I think, the community is very, imaginative and comes up with great ideas. And we're looking at a lot of different possibilities. And stay tuned because we're still very, very early in this game, and a lot of features and ideas will come out in due time that enable collectors to, have more optionality around their collections.
Yeah, and there's a lot of great ones that we've seen from the feature suggestion forum. So thank you so much. Just pages and pages of well thought out, awesome ones for when we have more bandwidth to potentially um, select some of the more uh, maybe features that go in line with what we want to do in the future and logistics wise. So appreciate you all taking such an extensive amount of your time and thinking these out for us to sift from and for the community to vote on as well. Velvet Hoop asks, what is happening with the base set release 27 for 50,000 packs?
It'll happen at some point. We needed to create a new release. Like the way minting works is we can't just add 30,000 to release 27. Once release 27 is minted, at 50,000, that's what it is. So in order to make enough rebound packs for the Hollow Icon drop so that we made sure everyone that was eligible could enter the queue and get a pack, we had to make a bigger release, right? So 80,000 packs in that case. But we will eventually release 27 for sure.
Great. All right. I think I'm gonna start opening up the office hours channel for people to get some of their ideas in. So let me just go ahead and do that. If I see a question in the general channel that I feel we can entertain, then I'll go ahead and ask it. But I'm just going to go ahead and get this one open. So give me for my apologies, one moment. And if you see one as well, just feel free to build it. And if you see an NBA one, treat yourself because I know how much you geek out over those, and it's always a delight hearing your NBA Top Shot encyclopedia of knowledge that you have. I'm just always in awe. So is the rest of the community. So let me get this open. Okay.
So the players that are certified ballers but aren't on the picks page, be it Isaiah Roby, be it Bogdan's Cool Cats moment, those will be added. So if they have a certified baller kind of verified check mark, you can trust that they will be included in the showcase contest. And if they're not added yet, it's largely due to just bandwidth and being able to keep that picks page constantly updated.
Awesome.
But I'm not sure if the community saw Carl Anthony Towns created an account yesterday, so very excited. Another all-star in the family of Top Shot.
Yeah, I mean, I would consider him a superstar just based off those. Some of his play alone definitely racks up some monster numbers. So Carl Anthony Towns couldn't be more excited. Awesome player to come on board. Brown Mamba asks, what is the long-term value of holding a full set? We did speak upon moments in a challenge or moments in a prior challenge, not necessarily being discarded in reference to future use for another challenge down the line. So that's one. I mean, completing a full set itself is pretty awesome. There is that certain satisfaction and gratification for having things that are complete. Beyond that, Jacob, would you want to add any notes on that?
No other notes there. I think you put it well.
Awesome. The Giannis All-Star Game reward still being CC. Yeah, I'll touch base with the team about that and see what's up. Sometimes they're delayed. Well, they are delayed. They have a certain time frame for remaining CC for customer complex customer service issues, and that's the reason why they don't outright turn Ellie. But we'll sync with the team in charge of changing it to Ellie.
Yeah, what I can say there for certain is there are still customer service issues regarding those challenges that are now 2 weeks old. We don't anticipate that the circulating count will change more than a handful, but we're not quite ready to shut the door on it because I think our rule is we need to be X number of days removed from the last person who trickled in with a complaint or a request. So we're getting closer, but we're not quite there yet.
Right on. People are asking if maybe there's a way in the future to check all the top showcases for certain contests that's running, and maybe in chronological order with likes, top 50, top 100, whatever it is, if that doesn't exist already.
Yeah, a leaderboard long term is certainly something that I would be interested in.
Yeah, that'd be super cool to see. Yeah, Captain Cookie Taker on PTP Trading of Moments, that was certainly toyed with by the team, where you trade moment for moment. Jacob, on the confirmation end, is that something that will absolutely be implemented on Top Shot, or something that is potentially on our radar?
I'm sorry, what was the question?
Do you feel, I know this question gets brought up, but do you feel an actual trading system in Top Shot is absolutely something that's going to happen, or something that's potentially on our radar?
It's definitely on our radar, but it's potentially going to happen. No certainty. I think long term we definitely see a value for it. What I would also say is to collectors, I see some ideas around kind of mitigating the same purchase, and the frustrations there. I think the longer term system, rather than like a wheel for everyone that got in within the same minute, the long term solution is probably going to be something around bidding and auctions, blind auctions, creating an opportunity for there to be one clear winner, rather than everyone.
All right. One community member just asked, will there be a mobile app? Yeah, there's plans for 2 of them. A moment viewer, as Roham indicated, where you can view your collection, and Hardcourt as well, a mobile game where you can plug in and play with your moments. So don't necessarily have time frame on my own end for that, but it is something that is that we believe would be very exciting for the Top Shot community. When will we begin advertising? Are we any closer than we'd indicated in recent weeks or months?
We're closer in the sense that we're still climbing out of our backlog, and we've made a week's worth of progress. I think we'll share our number of new collectors who've gained access to withdrawals later today, from the past week, and that's certainly our high number to date. So we're excited about that. But no, we're not quite ready there. And we're marketing doesn't just happen overnight. So we're starting to have the conversations around kind of what that could look like, what timelines look like, and starting to kind of put feelers out with athletes, influencers, musicians, culture tastemakers, everyone. So, no timeline, but we're closer, just in the context of we're 1 week advanced from our backlog, but the backlog is still there.
Right. I kind of laughed at this question. If RNG is the most fair, is there a way to allow all purchase attempts within 10 seconds and a wheel to win the purchase? Talking about kind of Vegas-y on Top Shot. I don't imagine that'll be a thing, but it certainly seems like it'd be fun to look at.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was just getting at, around bids being a much more likely solution for that same problem.
Yeah. So that was something that's on the team's radar for quite a long time, and something that still needs to be planned out. But it's very exciting. I apologize. I feel like a dried up SpongeBob right now. Ramadan for me, and Admittedly, I don't partake in the morning festivities and drinking the water I need to drink. So if I sound dried up, my apologies.
Um,
Sorry, go ahead.
yeah, I'm looking through. I don't see update on baller status. We're now gonna reinstitute it next week. We have one of our engineers who's working on it just had the vaccine, so they're a little out of it today. And rather than force through, we're gonna just delay it a little bit. But sometime next week, we'll have baller status. The status points that you as a collector didn't gain for completing certain events in the past while baller status has been out of commission will be retroactively applied.
Awesome. TrueCon, do we have details that we can necessarily release about Hardcourt, such as TrueCon asking if Hardcourt will have a skill element to the game?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think it's going to be something where you as a collector, the better your collection is, the better your team is, but you have to be good at the game. It's not just the best collection is going to win every time.
Yeah, so like Madden, you get those high-end diamond cards, and I'm sorry if I'm getting the rarities wrong, but you can have all those, but you still got to be good, I imagine, to get to where you want to be. And fully hyped for that. It's been on the radar for quite a long time, and when it actually gets released, I imagine it'll add a very, very large new layer of excitement for Top Shot community.
Yeah, Canadian and UK bank withdrawals still on track for sometime at the end of this month, I would say. So 2 to 3 more weeks seems like a decent kind of benchmark, I would say. I see a question about 6 months till out of beta about a month ago. I would say we're still around 6 months. Like these are all just guesstimations, but everything we're doing now working on will get us closer to being out of beta, but we're not in a position where we can say with certain what that timeline looks like. I think 6 months is a good little ballpark.
Yeah. Powell asks, would it be possible to make NBA players' accounts on Top Shot searchable by their real names? They're saying that it's really difficult to find them right now.
Yeah, I think it's possible. We'll look into that. It's a good idea. It's something that we want to do long term for sure.
Yeah. With this, I'm gonna turn it off for questions, but have an announcement. It's probably the toughest decision in my life, but in short, I'm stepping down as CM. I won't be your community manager anymore, and that was a decision for my own health. Pandemic's not easy, and it was a decision that was on my mind for quite some time. I ultimately am in love with this community. I made some of the best friends in my life. Just being around Jacob all the time, for instance, office hours is just very therapeutic. Only have love for absolutely everyone here, and will continue to, and I will stick around the community. Admittedly, not a CM, but just being here. And sorry if I'm getting choked up, but it feels surreal to even talk about it. And I just want to really, really thank everyone for all support, for all your positive engagement, and really relishing in Top Shot. I started out here when there was only 200 people, and now there's 300,000 people in this ecosystem, this environment of passion and joy. And I hear so many great stories about how it connected your friends, your family together. It brought you back to a love of Top Shot. It was actually your first collectible experience. Love for the NBA. It got you watching NBA games again. Potentially the idea of attending games, buying physical cards as well. So it's just so many layers involved, and Uh, it's it's like nothing I've ever been part of in my life. This is my dream job, but ultimately, it's to just kind of take some time for myself, readapt. If there's an opportunity again down the line, there's no other company I'd ever want to work for than Dapper Labs. By all means, every one of these people, they're as genuine and amazing as it gets. Um, Kind to the furthest extent, very, very supportive. So please be kind to them. They're genuinely trying their hardest, working 12 to 14, 16 hours at times, just trying to get it right. They feel everything you feel. It really gets into the bone. They just really, really want to see this as beautiful an experience as you do. And, sometimes uh, the stress gets to them like it does to me. And unfortunately, in this instance, I found myself no longer being able to push past the human limits that involved. But um, certainly, idea to entertain coming back in the future if that window is open. But in the meantime, uh, it'll be Usman out. And when Jacob says Usman's real MVP, that's further from the truth. It's all of you. Um, and people like Jacob who made this whole thing happen by directing the team, directing the community as best he could, putting me in a place to succeed, and being the mentor and the older brother figure that I always look up to and will continue for the rest of my life. So truly appreciate you. Truly appreciate our amazing, amazing, amazing referees. Just all the volunteer work that you put in, your friendship. It made being here every day pure joy. I truly, truly love you all, and I'm gonna miss you. And maybe there is that time frame where I do come back. In that case, it'll be hello again. But for now, I just want to say goodbye, and um, that's that. So thank you. We'll miss you all.
Yeah. Yeah, I just want to emphasize that at the end of the day, we're all human. We don't get everything right. We, as Usman said, we're all trying our absolute hardest. Usman wears his heart on his sleeve, has been working tirelessly for this community. We understand frustrations from the community. We share frustrations. We want to get this right. It does not behoove us at all for the topic of the day to be withdrawals, right? Like, we are making progress there. We are working as hard as we can so that no longer has to be a topic, right? Playing defense is not what the community team wants to be doing, right? We want to be having fun. We want to be able to create unique experiences to bring this community together. And for Usman, I just can't thank him enough for all the tireless work he's done to get our community to where it is. He's been on the team since before I joined and played a pivotal role in getting me onboarded and learning the ropes of this beautiful community. But I think at the end of the day, the number one thing I want to impart is we're all human. We should all lean in with kindness and assume and infer the best in everyone, because life's too short. I understand that we don't get everything right. We are working our tails off to get things right, but I just want to impart that the role that Usman's had, the role that our mods have in this community on a daily basis, it's hard. It's a grind. We get a lot of negativity, a lot of heckling, threats. At the end of the day, we're all here to help you all. I'm not on the compliance team. Usman's not on the compliance team. We don't have visibility into your withdrawal issues. We don't have visibility into your trading history beyond what the public sees. And for Usman, I really just want to tip my cap to him, because prioritizing health, prioritizing wellness, prioritizing sustainable kind of long-term life decisions is really important. So, nothing but complete admiration and respect for all that he's done in this community. Knowing him, he's going to be helping people 2 weeks from now, even when it's not his job to be helping people. So this is more of a see you later or see you soon than a goodbye. But I think for Usman, you can see it in the office hours chat right now. The love for you and all that you've done is truly kind of second to none. And thank you for all that you've done to help me help me get settled here and help this community make me look good, frankly, for all that you do on a daily basis.
Thank you, Jacob. The sentiment is exactly echoed back to you, our team, referees, the community. Really, really appreciate you through and through. I mean, you're Batman. I'm Robin. It just felt like that since day one. So definitely a very, very sad day. We'll be feeling that way for quite some time. I joked that it would be the Narcos meme where he's just Pablo Escobar just standing in different places staring. But that's how it'll feel like without being the community manager. And it's going to take a lot of time. I'm sure there'll be instances where I'm like, oh, this is real. This is, I wake up and I feel naked without that role. But like you said, I'm going to take the time for myself and really just work through some things and, stick around the community once and be a little more active once that's, a little sorted out. So appreciate everyone once again. Really, really, really appreciate you, Jacob. And just want to thank you all for the love and continue being nice to our teammates and referees. Like Jacob said, they're only here to help. And we know how passionate you all are, and they are as well. So let's all make this thing succeed the best it can be and create that environment of positivity to at least get through the quirks of this beta together. And just appreciate how wild it's been, the revolutionary experience that you're a part of. I mean, this is the new age of collectibles. It's never been done. It's extremely cool and exciting that you're here. And just relishing that there's so much more to come. And so many more experiences to come, so many more friends to make. It just stretches beyond the collectibles itself. So take care.
And yeah, with that, quite the mic drop. We will see you back here on Tuesday for the next office hours. In the meantime, everyone, please continue sharing the love with Usman all around. True GOAT, and nothing but love all around. We'll miss him dearly. We look forward to seeing him back in the community in a unofficial role in due time. And in the meantime, just excited for him to get some much deserved time away, being able to kind of exhale, so to speak, and get himself in a better place. So we couldn't be more thankful for him, and thank you everyone for attending this week. We will be back in due time on Tuesday, and in the meantime, if you have any questions, concerns, thoughts, save them for Tuesday for office hours, or ask them on Twitter. We're around. But yeah, wishing you all the best. Have a great weekend. And yeah, it's a hard day for sure.
This is I'm this close to crying, and once this is off, that may just happen. But it's been great, friend. Appreciate you again. Appreciate seeing my girlfriend here once again. Thank you for the support, and thank you for support of the community, Luke. All the referees, all the community members again. Have a wonderful Friday. Have a wonderful weekend, and see you around. Take care.